You're listening to the Gilbert King and Lisa Show.
This story comes to us from Pakistan, and this is from earlier this year in January, where teenager, 17-year-old ZEENAT RAFIQ was killed for marrying Hassan Khan without her family's permission. And again, this story is from 2017, but her mother, whose name is Parveen Bibi, confessed to killing her daughter in June for bringing shame to the family. She confessed to this honor killing. And this story comes to us from the Independent Observer in the UK. Apparently, she had been living with her husband and his family 1 week before she was murdered by her mother and brother. Her brother Anis was also charged for beating her right before her mother threw some type of gasoline or kerosene on top of her, and they beat her up before her mother lit her on fire. So her brother Anis is now serving life in prison for his participation in this murder. And the article goes on to state that in 2015, 11,000 honor killings took place in the country of Pakistan, according to the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan. And in October 2016, honor killings were officially outlawed in Pakistan. And of course, what makes an honor killing different than a general killing or murder is that it has some kind of perceived lowering of or losing of social status of the family and the community, and the stigma that it has in the social setting that the family participates in. And usually the people who go about it, they don't face a negative stigma from their society because they are seen to be justified, because that was supposedly the only thing they can do to regain their status after their loved one, usually a daughter or a homosexual, that had brought some supposed shame onto the community that they lived in, usually a small community of some kind of wealth, or even if it's not a wealthy family, but just a family in a small area where they feel they're going to lose some kind of status. Now, the law that was passed in October 2016, it also includes such things as lowering honor as eloping, fraternizing, and any kind of break from conservative values that can be deemed to lower a person's social status or social standing. And the young girl, ZEENAT RAFIQ, is pictured below. She's the one that has the red. It should come up soon when the photos flip over on the slideshow. She's the one wearing red, using what looks to be a computer camera to take a computer photo. And it's just a shame that families in these kinds of communities where they are either burning a homosexual or a girl that breaks from family tradition, they don't see anything shameful about killing their daughter, but they see something shameful about having people know that they're doing something like fraternizing, or what they consider fraternizing, or just going against the family's wishes. And one just wishes that there was some kind of middle ground where they can meet and they can discuss these things, or perhaps even if they had some way to involve the law, but anything before they decide to take the life of supposed loved ones. Because it says in the article that even after the girl was burned, and she had to be cremated because she was so disfigured after the burning took place, no one in her family wanted to claim the body. No one wanted to see that if it was really her, because they still had this sense of shame within them. And it just makes you think, how many times must this have happened throughout history, and it just wasn't counted, it just wasn't included in the tallies when it comes to murder, because it was something that was protected within the society that was known to practice these things. So this is in the last few years there have been a lot of strides when it comes to the rights of women And this is something that I think anyone who feels empathy towards anyone in society can really get behind something like this and say, well, just because of someone's beliefs it's considered to be lowering a social standing, that they shouldn't be burned alive. I don't see too many. I don't see any cases where I can see that it's justified that someone is just burned just because of what someone else is going to think, what society is going to think, what the people are going to think when they see you at the places where you worship or out in society. And I could just see a picture of people just walking around and whispering in people's ear and wondering, well, is this something that we should tell someone about? Because there's always someone that tells on the person that they're doing something to get the person in trouble, whether it's they saw this girl talking to guys, we saw her walking with a boy, and it's something that in a lot of other cultures they wouldn't understand because they're not used to all these conservative values when it comes to just walking with someone of the opposite sex. But in societies where your social standing is everything, they look at this as something real big. Just a simple touch or the way that you dress can be misinterpreted as just going against all traditional value. And for this, many people have lost their lives. Many people had to hide the way that they really felt, and what really made them them. And just now is when people really feel that they can speak out about this, because even to speak out about it, you were putting your life in jeopardy, and going against family values or any kind of religious values was seen as something that was almost impossible, even in the school setting, even if it was around other people that believed like you did. You ran the risk of being stoned, of being ostracized from any community, not being able to earn a living, not being able to live your life the way that you wanted it because of what it meant to your family, what it meant to your society, your immediate society as a whole. So again, just the number alone, 1,100 honor killings in 2015 only in the country of Pakistan, and that's the number that was counted. And years before, this wasn't something that there have been a lot of tallies kept to keep record of such a thing. And if you want to break it down into numbers, this is something that's occurring in a lot of countries, but many times they're just not counted because it's within the community. And a lot of these laws were put in place to not count or not punish the people who are who were part of these killings, because it was something that was seen to, they didn't want to. A lot of these laws, they're the way they are because they want to protect the community and keep the society that has these laws in place where they include honor killings. They protect them from any legal ramifications because they don't want to upset the masses when they go, because they know that this is something they have established over the years, and they don't want to dare political standing just to change something that perhaps many people who are part of these beliefs know that it's not right in the first place. So I wonder if these are things that are going to be included when it comes to certain protests, even in Pakistan, whether people will be allowed to be more vocal about it now. I wonder what kind of protests are going to be done, or if any protests are going to be done, or even how you go about helping such a situation, and or people who are on these conditions. Can they be considered some type of refugee? Can they be considered a group in need of help, or just people living under conditions, or is it just not of our business? So again, a lot of this is cultural, and so you don't know what's considered right, you don't know what's considered wrong, but it just feels that it's not right, that someone has to be stoned to death or someone has to be burned alive for other people to see, well, this is not something you do. And it gets the message across, but you're wondering what that message is. and just hope there's some kind of more understanding of family members who are in this situation, knowing that you loved this person once upon a time before you killed them, before people got into your business and started wondering, is this person a conservative person, or is this person someone that has lost respect or social status? Before they belonged to the community, they were part of your family. And I think some of that still carries over, even if they get older, even if they bring some kind of shame to your family. And, there's no winners in this situation, because I don't see how a family could ever be a family again after this happens. I don't know how in a society can go back to being a society again after you judge the person, the people around you as harshly, where it ended up in their murder. And if you're doing time in jail because you helped your family commit murder against someone in your family, I don't know how you ever can have peace of mind, unless a peace of mind is coming in the sense of a new kingdom or an afterlife or something like that. But it's just very hard to understand. Maybe if someone could explain it, or someone can give their ideas as to what it means to have an honor killing and where the honor comes from, because it's a little hard to understand in this kind of situation. Yeah, thank you. Please comment below as to your answers or what you feel about something like this. And feel free to like and subscribe if you feel anything that you heard here was of value, or thumbs up or thumbs down. It's up to you. But thanks for looking anyway, and do your best. Have a good day.
This has been a Gilbert King Elisa production.